On Friday, the 13th of October, 1972, a chartered flight carrying a rugby team and their supporters took off from Uruguay, headed for Chile. The day was marked by a sense of excitement and anticipation, as the team looked forward to their upcoming match, unaware of the fate that awaited them. The flight, numbered 571 and operated by the Uruguayan Air Force, was filled with anticipation and excitement. The players, along with their friends and family, were in high spirits, chatting animatedly and sharing stories. The atmosphere was one of camaraderie and joy, a stark contrast to what was to come. The young men on board were eager for their upcoming match, their families and friends excited to cheer them on. As the plane ascended into the sky, the passengers settled into their seats, some gazing out of the windows at the breathtaking views, while others engaged in lively conversations. No one could have predicted the harrowing ordeal that lay ahead, an event that would etch Flight 571 into the annals of history as a chilling testament to human resilience and the power of hope in the face of unimaginable despair. The serene skies and majestic mountain ranges below gave no hint of the impending disaster. The aircraft, a twin-engine turboprop Fairchild FH-227D, was considered a reliable workhorse. It had served countless flights without incident, earning a reputation for its dependability and robust design. The passengers had every reason to feel secure as they soared through the air. It was a routine flight, nothing out of the ordinary for the experienced crew. The pilots, confident in their abilities and the aircraft's performance, maintained a steady course, ensuring a smooth journey for everyone on board. The pilots, seasoned aviators with years of experience under their belts, navigated the familiar air corridors. They had faced numerous challenges in their careers, from turbulent weather to technical malfunctions, and had always emerged unscathed. They were men of the sky, accustomed to the challenges of flight and the fickle nature of weather. Their training and expertise were second to none, and they took pride in their ability to handle any situation that might arise. Yet this seemingly routine journey would soon transform into a desperate fight for survival. As the plane encountered unexpected turbulence, the calm demeanor of the crew began to waver. The once smooth flight became increasingly turbulent, and the passengers' excitement turned to apprehension. The carefree atmosphere on board would soon be replaced by fear and uncertainty, as the passengers and crew of Flight 571 were about to face a test of their courage and endurance, a challenge that would push them to the very limits of human capability. The journey that began with such promise was now a battle against the elements, a struggle for survival in the unforgiving wilderness. The flight proceeded smoothly at first, the aircraft gliding effortlessly through the clear blue skies. The passengers settled into their seats, some gazing out of the windows, marveling at the vast expanse of the sky. The rugged peaks of the Andes Mountains loomed large in the distance, their jagged edges cutting through the horizon like ancient sentinels standing guard over the land. The Fairchild FH-227D, a symbol of human ingenuity and our desire to conquer the skies, was dwarfed by the sheer scale and majesty of the Andean landscape. This small passenger aircraft, though sturdy and reliable, seemed almost insignificant against the backdrop of nature's grandeur. The snow-capped peaks, piercing the clouds and reaching for the heavens, held a silent power that spoke of nature's raw and untamed beauty. These mountains, formed over millions of years, were a testament to the Earth's ever-changing face, a reminder of the forces that shape our world. Inside the aircraft, a sense of camaraderie filled the air. The passengers, a mix of young athletes and their supporters, were in high spirits, their laughter and chatter creating a warm and lively atmosphere. The young rugby players, their faces full of youthful energy and optimism, joked and shared stories with their loved ones. They were excited about the journey ahead, their minds filled with dreams of victory and adventure. They were a tight-knit group, bound by their shared passion for the sport and the strong bonds of friendship. Their camaraderie was palpable, a testament to the strength of their team spirit and the deep connections they had forged through countless hours of training and competition. As the flight progressed, the weather began to deteriorate. Dark clouds gathered on the horizon, a foreboding sign of the storm that lay ahead. Thick clouds enveloped the aircraft, obscuring the towering peaks below. The once clear and bright skies were now a murky gray, the sunlight struggling to penetrate the dense cloud cover. The familiar hum of the engines was now punctuated by the occasional jolt of turbulence, a stark reminder of the unforgiving environment outside. The aircraft shuddered and shook, each bump a reminder of the power of the storm. The lighthearted mood inside the cabin shifted subtly, a sense of unease creeping in as the storm intensified. Passengers exchanged worried glances, their earlier laughter replaced by nervous whispers. The pilots, their faces etched with concentration, battled to maintain control of the aircraft as it was buffeted by strong winds. Their hands moved deftly over the controls, their training and experience guiding them through the turbulent skies. The once clear skies were now a swirling mass of gray, the mountains below hidden from view. The aircraft seemed to be flying through a void, the outside world reduced to a blur of gray and white. The passengers, sensing the change in the aircraft's movements, grew increasingly apprehensive. The turbulence was more than just a minor inconvenience, it was a reminder of the fragility of their situation. They looked to the crew for reassurance, but even the most experienced aviator on board couldn't have predicted the horrors that awaited them. The storm was a force of nature, unpredictable and relentless, and the passengers could only hope that they would make it through unscathed. Without warning, disaster struck. The serene journey through the skies turned into a nightmare as the weather took a sudden, violent turn. The Fairchild FH-227D, caught in the grip of a fierce mountain storm, slammed into a remote, unnamed peak in the Andes Mountains. The pilots, despite their best efforts, were unable to navigate through the treacherous conditions. The impact was deafening, tearing through the fuselage and sending shockwaves throughout the cabin. The sheer force of the collision was unimaginable, as if the very air had turned against them. Metal shrieked, luggage flew, and terrified screams filled the air as the once sturdy aircraft was ripped apart by the unforgiving mountain. The passengers, who moments before were enjoying their flight, were now thrust into a scene of utter chaos and terror. In an instant, the world of the passengers and crew was transformed into a chaotic nightmare. The serene journey had turned into a desperate struggle for survival. The once familiar and comforting interior of the aircraft was now a mangled wreck, a tomb of twisted metal and shattered dreams. Seats were torn from their moorings and personal belongings were scattered like confetti. The force of the impact threw passengers against the cabin walls, their bodies colliding with the wreckage. The sheer violence of the crash left many with broken bones and severe injuries. The smell of aviation fuel filled the air, mixing with the coppery tang of blood. It was a scent that would haunt the survivors for the rest of their lives. Amidst the chaos and carnage, a handful of souls survived the initial impact. These survivors, though battered and bruised, were the lucky ones. Dazed, disoriented, and badly injured, they clung to life in the shattered remnants of the aircraft. Their minds struggled to comprehend the magnitude of the disaster that had just unfolded. The world outside, a blinding white expanse of snow and ice, offered little comfort. The harsh, frozen landscape was as unforgiving as the crash itself. They were stranded, miles from civilization, their hopes of rescue fading with each passing moment. The isolation was profound, and the realization of their predicament began to sink in. The crash of Flight 571 was a stark reminder of the fragility of life, a testament to the raw power of nature. It underscored how, in an instant, everything can change. The mountain, a silent and indifferent giant, had claimed the lives of many, and left the survivors to face a harrowing ordeal, a battle for survival against the most extreme of odds. The survivors knew that their struggle was just beginning, and the harsh reality of their situation was a daunting challenge they had to confront head-on. In the immediate aftermath of the crash, the survivors of Flight 571 faced a scene of unimaginable horror and devastation. The once proud aircraft, now a mangled wreck of metal and debris, lay strewn across the desolate mountainside. Bodies of their friends and loved ones, some still strapped into their seats, served as a grim reminder of the tragedy that had befallen them. Yet, amidst the despair and loss, a flicker of hope emerged. The survivors, their bodies battered and broken, their spirits shaken to the core, found the strength to cling to life. They drew on their reserves of courage, their will to survive, fueled by the memory of loved ones and the desperate hope of rescue. The challenges they faced were immense. The frigid Andean air, thin and unforgiving, bit at their exposed skin. The altitude, over 11,000 feet above sea level, made every breath a struggle. Food and water were scarce, and the threat of hypothermia loomed large. They were stranded on a barren mountainside, miles from civilization, their fate uncertain. But the human spirit, as it so often does in the face of adversity, refused to be broken. Led by a small group of the more able-bodied survivors, they organized themselves, tending to the injured, rationing their meager supplies, and working tirelessly to improve their chances of survival and eventual rescue.